Why do some people effortlessly attract blessings, while others struggle no matter how hard they try? The secret lies in a hidden prayer. 11 powerful words you must say in silence and never share with anyone. In this video, you will learn why these words unlock your ability to manifest, how they align your energy with the universe, and the simple steps to make them work for you, starting today. You have been taught to believe that prayer is about asking, about pleading, about hoping that some distant force might hear your desperate calls and grant you favor. But the most powerful prayer ever discovered requires no words spoken aloud, no public declaration, no sharing with another soul, for it operates in the realm of silence where all creation begins, and where your deepest desires are transformed from thought into reality through the sacred act of internal declaration. The ancient masters understood what modern seekers have forgotten, that there exists a specific sequence of words, 11 words precisely, that when spoken only in the silence of your own consciousness, without breath, without voice, without even the movement of your lips, creates a vibrational frequency so pure and so aligned with the creative force of the universe that manifestation becomes not a hope, but an inevitable consequence of your inner declaration. A woman came to Dr. Joseph Murphy years ago, desperate and broken, having lost her home, her marriage crumbling, her finances in ruins, and she had tried every form of prayer she knew, every ritual, every public declaration, every group meditation. Yet nothing had changed in her outer world, because she had been broadcasting her intentions to everyone except the one consciousness that could actually transform her reality. When Dr. Murphy taught her these 11 words and instructed her to speak them only in silence, to tell absolutely no one what she was doing, to guard this prayer as she would guard her most precious treasure, her life began to shift in ways that seemed miraculous to those around her, but was simply the natural result of proper spiritual technique. Within 3 months, her financial situation had completely reversed. Opportunities appeared as if from nowhere. Her relationship healed in ways she had not dared to imagine. And most remarkably, she found herself living in a state of inner peace and confidence that attracted abundance effortlessly, because she had learned to work with the law of silence that governs all true manifestation. The 11 words are not magical incantations pulled from ancient texts or mystical formulas discovered in hidden temples, but rather a precise arrangement of concepts that align your consciousness with the fundamental creative principle that underlies all existence. And these words must be spoken in silence, because the moment you share them with another person, the moment you speak them aloud, the moment you write them down or broadcast them to the world, you dissipate the concentrated energy that makes them effective. Think of this principle as you would think of a seed that must be planted in the dark, fertile soil of your subconscious mind, protected from the harsh light of external scrutiny, shielded from the doubts and opinions of others, allowed to germinate in the perfect conditions of silence and secrecy, until it has grown strong enough to manifest in your outer world as visible, tangible results. A man told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he had been affirming abundance for years, declaring his prosperity to his friends, posting his intentions on social media, joining manifestation groups where everyone shared their desires openly, yet his bank account remained empty, and his opportunities remained scarce because he had been violating the fundamental law that governs all successful manifestation, the law of silence that protects the creative process from interference. When this man learned to speak his prayer only in the sacred silence of his own mind, when he stopped sharing his dreams with others and began nurturing them in the secret garden of his consciousness, when he understood that the creative force works most powerfully when it is not disturbed by external voices and opinions, His external circumstances began to mirror the inner changes he was creating through his silent practice. The power of silence in manifestation cannot be understood by the rational mind alone because it operates according to principles that transcend ordinary logic and enter the realm of spiritual law, where cause and effect follow patterns that seem mysterious to those who have not learned to work consciously with the deeper forces that shape reality. When you speak your desires aloud, when you share your intentions with others, when you seek validation or support for your dreams, you are essentially asking the external world to participate in the creative process that can only be completed in the internal world of consciousness. And this creates a dissipation of energy that weakens the manifestation rather than strengthening it. The 11 words of the hidden prayer work precisely because they are kept hidden, because they are spoken in a realm where no other consciousness can interfere with their creative power, because they are protected from the doubt, skepticism, and unconscious resistance that other people inevitably project onto dreams that seem too good to be true or too impossible to achieve. A woman said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had been visualizing her perfect partner for months, describing him to her friends, asking for their advice, sharing every detail of her romantic desires, yet she remained alone because every person she told became an unconscious participant in her creative process. And most people, despite their good intentions, carry within them beliefs about limitation, scarcity, and impossibility that contaminate the pure creative energy required for manifestation. Your subconscious mind, which is the creative mechanism through which all manifestation occurs, operates most effectively when it receives clear, consistent, and uncontaminated instructions from your conscious mind. And the moment you begin sharing your intentions with others, you introduce their beliefs, their limitations, their skepticism, and their unconscious resistance into the creative equation. The 11 words of the hidden prayer create a direct channel between your conscious intention and your subconscious creative power because they bypass the external world entirely, operating in the realm of pure consciousness, where thoughts become things through the natural law of mental creation. When you speak these words in silence, you are not trying to convince anyone, not seeking approval, not attempting to override the doubts of others, but simply planting a seed in the fertile soil of your own mind, where it can grow without interference until it manifests as reality in your external experience. A man came to Dr. Joseph Murphy explaining that he had been affirming success in his business for 2 years, telling everyone about his plans, asking for their support, sharing his vision with investors, partners, and friends. Yet his business remained stagnant because every person he told became a contributor to his creative process. And since most people unconsciously believe in limitation and difficulty, their mental participation in his vision was actually working against the success he was trying to create. The specific arrangement of these 11 words creates a vibrational pattern that resonates with the creative frequency of the universe itself. And this resonance can only be maintained when the words are spoken in the pure silence of your individual consciousness, protected from the vibrational interference that occurs whenever other minds become involved in your creative process. You must understand that manifestation is not a group activity, but an individual responsibility, not a social process, but a private communion between your conscious mind and the infinite creative power that responds to your mental states and inner declarations. The moment you share your deepest desires with another person, you invite their consciousness to participate in your creative process. And unless that person has achieved complete mastery over their own thoughts and beliefs, they will unconsciously project limitations, doubts, and obstacles into your manifestation field, weakening the creative power that you have been building through your silent practice. A woman told Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had been working with affirmations and visualizations for healing, sharing her process with her family and friends, asking for their prayers and support. Yet her condition remained unchanged because every person who knew about her healing work was unconsciously participating in her creative process. And most people, despite their loving intentions, carried deep-seated beliefs about illness, limitation, and the impossibility of miraculous healing that were contaminating her pure healing intention. The hidden prayer of manifestation works through the principle of concentrated creative energy, which can only be maintained when your manifestation practice remains completely private, known only to you and the infinite intelligence that responds to your inner states of consciousness. When you tell others about your desires, your dreams, your intentions, you are essentially asking them to hold space for possibilities that may exceed their own capacity to believe, and their unconscious doubt becomes a resistant force that works against the manifestation you are trying to create. The 11 words must be spoken in silence, not because there is anything secretive or mysterious about the process itself, but because silence provides the perfect incubation environment for the creative force to work without interference from external consciousness. Think of your manifestation practice as you would think of a developing photograph in a darkroom, which requires complete protection from light until the image has fully developed, and only then can it be safely exposed to the external world without being damaged or destroyed. A man said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that he had been visualizing financial abundance for months while simultaneously complaining about his financial struggles to anyone who would listen, sharing his money problems with his family, discussing his debts with his friends, and wondering why his affirmations for prosperity were not working, not understanding that every conversation about lack was creating more lack. Every sharing of his financial struggles was reinforcing the very conditions he was trying to change through his manifestation practice. The sacred nature of the hidden prayer lies not in the words themselves, but in the consciousness with which they are held, the silence in which they are spoken, and the complete privacy in which they are practiced, because manifestation occurs in the realm of consciousness before it appears in the realm of form, and consciousness operates most powerfully when it is not diluted by external influences or contaminated by the beliefs and limitations of others. Your conscious mind is like a broadcasting station that sends signals to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind responds by creating circumstances, opportunities, and experiences that match the signals it receives. But when you share your intentions with others, you are essentially allowing multiple broadcasting stations to send conflicting signals to your creative mechanism, creating confusion rather than clarity in your manifestation process. The 11 words of the hidden prayer create a single, pure, concentrated signal that your subconscious can receive clearly and act upon effectively, but only when this signal is not interfered with by the mental static that results from external sharing and discussion. A woman came to Dr. Joseph Murphy after years of failed attempts at manifestation, explaining that she had tried every technique, joined every group, shared her dreams with every supportive friend, yet nothing had manifested in her life because she had been broadcasting her desires to everyone except the one consciousness that could actually fulfill them, her own subconscious mind, which had been receiving conflicting messages from all the external sources she had involved in her creative process. When you learn to speak the 11 words in perfect silence, you enter into a direct relationship with the creative power of the universe that exists within your own consciousness. And this relationship becomes the source of all successful manifestation because it bypasses the limitations, doubts, and resistance that exist in the external world and operates purely in the realm of infinite possibility. The practice of silent prayer is not about secrecy for its own sake, but about protecting the delicate creative process from interference until it has gained enough momentum to manifest regardless of external circumstances or the opinions of others. Your manifestation becomes invincible when it is created in silence, because silence is the natural environment of creation, the space where all possibilities exist simultaneously before being collapsed into specific realities through the power of focused intention and unwavering faith. A man told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he had been working with the law of attraction for years, reading every book, attending every seminar, sharing his journey with everyone he met, yet his life remained unchanged because he had been trying to create through external validation rather than internal conviction, seeking confirmation from others rather than developing the unshakable inner knowing that is required for successful manifestation. The 11 words that form the hidden prayer of manifestation are these, and you must speak them only in the silence of your own mind, sharing them with no one, protecting them as you would protect your most precious treasure, repeating them with absolute faith in their power to transform your reality. I am now receiving everything I need for my highest good. These words may seem simple to the untrained mind, but they contain within them the complete formula for manifestation because they acknowledge your divine nature. They establish your connection to infinite supply. They place you in the receiving mode rather than the asking mode. They align you with perfect timing through the word now. They encompass all possibilities through the word everything. They connect you with the intelligence that knows what you truly need, rather than what you think you want. And they align your desires with the highest purpose through the phrase, "for my highest good." When spoken in silence, these 11 words create a vibrational alignment between your conscious mind and the creative force of the universe that manifests as circumstances, opportunities, and experiences that exceed your previous limitations and fulfill your deepest desires in ways that often surpass your original expectations. A woman said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that after practicing these 11 words in silence for just 1 month, without telling anyone what she was doing, opportunities began appearing in her life that she had never imagined possible. Relationships healed that had been broken for years. Financial abundance flowed to her through channels she had never considered. And most remarkably, she found herself living in a constant state of gratitude and wonder as she witnessed the power of silence to create miracles in her daily experience. You must understand that the effectiveness of this prayer depends entirely upon your commitment to silence, your willingness to keep this practice completely private, and your faith in the power of internal declaration to create external transformation, because the moment you share these words with another person, you break the concentrated energy field that makes them effective and return to the ordinary realm of external seeking rather than internal receiving. The practice is simple, but it requires discipline. Each morning upon awakening and each evening before sleep, you speak these 11 words in the silence of your mind, feeling their truth, accepting their reality, allowing them to sink deep into your subconscious, where they will work continuously to align your life with the reality they represent. You do not need to visualize specific outcomes. You do not need to take physical action to make them come true. You do not need to figure out how they will manifest, because the intelligence that responds to these words is infinitely more creative and resourceful than your conscious mind could ever be. A man told Dr. Joseph Murphy that after 6 months of speaking these words in silence every day, his entire life had transformed in ways that seemed miraculous to everyone around him. But he understood that he was simply experiencing the natural result of aligning his consciousness with the creative principle that governs all successful manifestation. And the key to his success had been his unwavering commitment to keeping his practice completely private and speaking his prayer only in the sacred silence of his own consciousness.